everyone. Welcome you all to the session of Banking and Financial Service class. I'm Impa Viliappa, Associate Professor, Department of Management Sciences, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. Previously, we have discussed certain concepts of Unit 4, which was the title of the Unit 4 is NBFC and Overview. And in that, we had already discussed the microfinance. So, microfinance, in that we learned the meaning, models, services, and its challenges. So, in today's class, we'll be discussing the new concept, which is leasing. So, we have problems on this. So, understand the theory first. Once you are comfortable with the theory, solving the problem would be much easier. Okay. So, in this, we'll be covering the concept, types, advantages and disadvantages, and how do you evaluate the leasing with the perspective of lessor and lessee. Okay, so this is what we'll be covering today. Coming to the concept of the meaning of lease. A lease is defined as a contract between, there will be two parties, a lessor and a lessee, for the hiring of a specific asset, okay, or for hiring of a specific asset for a specific period or for a specific period on payment of specified rentals. So here there are a few concepts which I'll tell you. First of all, it's a contract. You can even write as for features. Okay. So first of all, it's a contract. It's between the contract is between the lessor and the lessee. Okay. For the hire of a particular asset. So there should be an asset. There should be an underlying asset on which the lessor and lessee are going to enter into a contract for a specific period. So it might be 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. So there should be a particular period on payment of lease rentals. So for leasing the equipment or leasing an asset, they need to pay the lease rentals. Okay, so this is the concept of lease. A lease is it's an implied or a written agreement, specifically the conditions under which the lessor accepts to let out the property to be used by the lessee. So lessor is the person, I'll tell you who is lessor and who is lessee. Lessor is the person who is having an asset, who is owning an asset, and lessee is taking the asset on lease from the lessor. Okay. So the maximum period of lease according to law is 99 years. So when you say in metropolitan cities, Bangalore or Mumbai, any other cities, if you want to take a flat, they give it on lease for 99 years. Okay, that you might have observed. So the maximum period according to law, it is 99 years, and previously they were leasing the real estates, land, mine, quarries, but were taken for lease. But nowadays they are taking equipments and modern civil crafts, aircrafts, ships. These are taken for lease. So it is not restricted to any particular real estates or land. It has also been extended to equipments and machineries and aircrafts, ships and all. Okay. Coming to the in the concepts, let's discuss who is a lessor, who is a lessee, and what are lease rentals. So as I've already told you, the party who is the owner, who owns the equipment or asset, permitting the same to be leased to the other party on a particular payment for a particular amount, then he is called a lessor. L-E-S-S-O-R, lessor. Okay. Who is a lessee? Lessee is L-E-S-S-E-E. Lessee is the party who acquires the right to use that equipment for which he pays periodically. So certain amount, which may be around 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, depending on the value of the asset. The lessee is going to pay that amount to the lessor for the usage of the asset. Okay, that person or that party is known as lessee. Then coming to lease rentals. So what are lease rentals? This refers to the consideration which is received by the lessor from the lessee to execute the transaction. Okay, with pertaining to the transaction. So this includes like interest on the lessor's investment, charge borne by the lessor such as repairs, maintenance, insurance, any other charges like this, then depreciation and service charges. Including all these, we call it as lease rental. So one is the interest, then charges like repairs, maintenance and insurance, then you have depreciation, then you have service charges. All these are the different amount which is included and which makes lump sum called as lease rentals, okay, which the lessee is going to give the lessor for the usage of asset. That is the meaning. And then coming to the types, there are various types of lease. Few of the important ones we'll discuss. Here we have financial lease. So financial lease, this type of lease which is normally for a longer period of time, which provides the use of assets during the primary lease period, which denotes almost entire life of the asset. If the asset's life is for 5 years, then whole of the asset is leased for 5 years. So the lessor assumes the role of a financier. So what is the role of a lessor? He is a financier, and services are provided like repairs, maintenance and insurance. As I said, these services are not provided by him. Okay, and the legal title is retained by the lessor, who has no option to terminate the lease agreement. So if lessor has one asset, he can lease out the asset to the lessee, but he'll be not maintaining the asset, he'll not be repairing the asset, he'll not be having any kind of role. His role is as of only as a financier. Okay, and there is no option for him to terminate the agreement. He cannot terminate the agreement or stop the agreement. Okay, and the principal and interest of the lessor is recouped by him during the desired payback period in the form of lease rentals. So whatever amount it is being paid by the lessor, that is recouped by the during the lease period from the lessee. Okay, the lease finance is also called as capital lease, and a loan is loan in disguise. It is like those who cannot afford paying full cash and buying an asset, they can go for this lease. It's instead of loan, you're taking lease. So it's like a loan in disguise. And the lessor does what happens? The financial institutions does not render specific services, specialized services in connection with the asset. So neither the lessor nor the financial institution is going to bear any kind of service providence for this financial lease. Okay, then you have second one is operating lease. The financial lease and operating lease are the important ones. Okay, what do you mean by operating lease? Here it is where the asset is not wholly amortized during the non-cancellation period. If of the lease, so if there is a duration of lease, during that period of lease, the entire asset is not amortized. The lessor does not rely on profits. So whatever profits it is retrieved from that particular asset, the lessor is not relying on that, and that is nothing but the rentals. Okay, on the rentals in the non-cancellation period. So in this type of lease, the lessor is who bears the lessor, that is the owner of the asset, bears the cost of the insurance, machinery, maintenance, repairs, insurance, everything. Okay, who bears? The owner bears, that is none other than lessor. Okay, and he is able to realize the full cost of the equipment and the incidental charges during the initial period of lease. Initially, when the lease is taken, when the asset is taken for lease, initially only the entire cost is taken, that is in the initial period, the entire cost is taken from the lessee, and all the maintenance is done by the lessor. Okay, the lessee uses the asset for a specified period of time, and the lessor bears the risk of obsolescence. So in case the lessor has given it for 5 years, that is the owner has given it for 5 years, and after 5 years it has got extended, that is if it becomes obsolete or junk, then the risk is on the lessor. Okay, either party of the lease, that is lessor and the lessee, may terminate the lease after giving a prior notice. A due notice has to be given, and lessor can also terminate, and lessee can also terminate, and the asset can be leased out for the other person who is willing to take. The perfect example for this is leasing a house. Normally we lease a house for 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 10 lakhs, like this, with varying amounts we lease a house. We stay there in the initially only we pay them the lease amount, and stay there for a period of time like 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 5 years, like this. For a period of time you stay there, and after that you vacate it, and whatever charges are there of maintaining and everything, that is all it is on the lessor. Okay, that is the actual agreement. So this is an example for operating lease. So you can identify the difference between financial lease and operating lease. So financial lease is where the ownership is there with the lessor, and he acts as a financier and does not provide any services to the lessee, like repairing, maintenance, insurance, anything. But in operating lease, all the services are provided by the lessor, and is like then during the period he gets the lease rentals in the initial stage itself. Whereas in financial lease, it is throughout the period he is getting the lease rentals, and once it becomes obsolete, the risk is on the lessee. But in operating lease, it is on the lessor. So you can identify the difference between financial lease and operating lease. And there are few more types in this. So another type is sale and lease back leasing. The name itself is telling you sale and lease back. You sell it and again lease back it. Okay, to raise funds for the company. Okay, if the company needs funds, they may sell an asset which belongs to them to the lessor, that is owner, with whom the ownership rights is vested. Which like the lessor, okay, that's the owner, is going to sell the asset to another party. Okay, subsequently the lessor, that is the owner, leases the asset back to the company. For example, we say there is a machinery worth rupees 1 lakh. Okay, the company needs immediate cash, so they sell the machinery for 1 lakh. Okay, once they sell the machinery for 1 lakh, again they are going to buy, that is lease back the machinery maybe for 10,000. So it is like you are saving around 90,000. So this is in case where the huge machines and equipments are costly, okay, which involves huge investment. Such kind of machineries or equipments are done like this, and the asset thus remains with the lessee in charge with the charge. Okay, but the usage can be done by the lessor, original lessor. Okay, enabling the company to produce finance. So hope so you have understood 3: financial lease, operating lease, and sale and lease back. Next is sales aid lease. Now what do you mean by sales aid lease? Under this agreement, the lessor agrees with the manufacturer that he'll market his products through his leasing operations. Okay, now there is a lessor. He enters into an agreement with the manufacturer directly and says that your product will be marketed by me. That is, the lessor is guaranteeing the manufacturer that he is the responsible person for the marketing of his products. And for this leasing operations, the manufacturer agrees to pay him the commission, agrees to pay commission to the lessor. Okay, so hopefully you have understood. Fifth one, specialized service lease. So in this type of agreement, the lessor provides specialized services in addition to the providing use, like not only usage, along with it he provides additional services like marketing, okay, helping in maintenance, repairs, insurance, all that he does. That is specialized service leasing. Okay, then next is small ticket leasing and big ticket leasing. This is quite simple. The lease of assets which is a smaller value, lesser value, those are called small ticket leasing. The assets which are having larger value, that is the big amount, then they are called big ticket leasing. Simple one, yeah? Okay. Then next is cross-border lease. So cross-border lease, the name itself is telling cross-border. So when two countries are involved, when the national frontiers are involved, then you call it as cross-border leasing. So lease across the national borders. Okay, so here in the recent trends, it is cross-border leasing is gaining more importance because it might be the aviation industry, shipping industry, or any other industry. Normally the technology becomes outdated. So when you get tie up with the other companies, when you lease out their equipment, then the technology is a kind of enhanced and updated. That's the reason now it is a trend. So here we can see that we have learned the various types of lease, like financial lease, operating lease, then we'll learn sale and lease back, sale aid lease, then specialized services lease, then we discussed about the cross border, then we discussed about the small and big tickets. Yeah, these are the different types of lease. Then coming to the next one, we have advantages and disadvantages of leasing. Okay, let's discuss the advantages of leasing first. So when you see that when compared to the regular loan system, in leasing the paperwork or documentation is comparatively very less. So that's an advantage. And flexibility is there. Flexibility in the sense as in how you want to frame the contract, how you want to, that can be customized. So customization is there, so flexibility is there, and much documentation is there. And it is like instead of taking a loan, it's an alternative to take the loan. And normally if you are going for loan, they give you 70%, 80%, like that. They keep a band of the maximum limit. But in leasing, they give full amount, that is 100% financing is done for the equipment. For the equipment, if it is 10 lakhs, then they finance total 100%, that is entire 10 lakhs is being financed. Okay, then you have sale and lease back. So immediately you need cash and you have something in your hand, some asset with you, then you can sell it and again lease it back. So in case you don't want to borrow it from someone else, then it is quite easy to sell and lease back. And there is also tax benefit depending on the tax status of the company. Depending on that, you get tax benefit also. So these are certain advantages of leasing. Then we have disadvantages. So as I've already told, advantages and disadvantages go hand in hand, and it is like a link. Okay. So when we come to the disadvantages or demerits, the cost of interest is very high comparatively to the regular loan which is provided in the bank, and also the asset revert back to the owner in term on the termination of the lease. In case the lease agreement is terminated, then the asset comes back to the lessor, that is owner of the asset, and the lessee loses his claim on the residual value. Whatever residual value is left out, the scrap value is left out, he loses his claim. That is another disadvantage. And leasing is not useful for setting up of new projects. If you are setting up of a new projects, as the rentals become payable very quickly and you have to pay huge amount on the acquisition, then it is not much suitable for the new projects or new companies. Okay. Then another disadvantage is lessor generally leases out assets which are purchased by him with the help of bank credit. Okay, so with the help of bank credit, he can use and lease out any of the asset which is not affordable or which he cannot purchase with a lesser amount. He can, like if you can't buy a house for 50 lakhs, then you can pay 5 lakhs and stay in that house. It is simple as that. Okay, that is the meaning of leasing. So this is what we have dealt with demerits. Okay, and last one is the evaluation of lease, or how do you evaluate the lease? Okay, leasing contract. So evaluation, this is normally about the problems. Here we are going to solve the problems, but here now I'll just explain the theoretical part, how a problem can be solved, what are the parameters need to be considered and all. Then we'll do the problems practically in next class. Okay. So while evaluating the lease, there are two types. One is the lessor point of view and another one is the lessee point of view, and another one is lessee point of view. Okay. So first, if you will take one way, lessee's point of view. So lease or buy, lease or borrow decisions. So we have problems on either to lease or to buy, either to lease or to borrow. Okay, so we have to decide on these, and once the firm evaluates its economic viability of an asset, then on particular investment, so whether it is possible for us to make an investment or not, accepting and selecting the proposal is done. It is considered like an alternate method, okay, where rather than going for loan, you are taking for lease. So you have to make an investment decision whether you need it to own or to lease. So here first is acquiring, and that once you want to acquire, you'll make a decision whether acquiring is better or buying is better. Okay. So if you have to evaluate on the point of lessee's point of view, then it involves certain steps. For example, first you need to calculate the present value of net cash flows. Okay, you need to evaluate or calculate the present value of net cash flows of the buying option. So buying option you have to take, and you have to calculate the NPV, and you call it as NPVB, means NPV of buying option. Okay, then you are going to calculate the NPV, that is net present value of net cash flows of leasing option, which we call NPVL. Okay, then decide among these two whether to buy or lease the asset or reject the proposal altogether by applying the following criteria. What is the criteria now? If NPV of buying is positive and greater than NPV of leasing, then you purchase. Okay, if NPV of buying is positive and greater, then you purchase the asset. Okay, if NPV of lease is positive and greater than, that is, it is just reverse, it is positive and greater, this is opposite. You can say NPV of lease is positive and greater, then you give an option of leasing. Lease. Lease. Okay, if NPV of buying and NPV of lease, if both are negative, if these two are negative, then you reject the proposal. Reject the proposal. So you've understood the difference, I guess. If NPV of buying is positive and greater, you purchase. If NPV of lease is positive and greater, then you lease. Okay. If both are negative, then you reject the proposal. So this is how you have to make the decision. Okay. Then we have lessor point of view. So lessor point of view, the financial viability of leasing out of an asset from the point of view of a lessor can be evaluated with the help of two time adjustment methods. Time adjusted methods of capital budgeting, which is present value method and IRR. Probably you have done this in financial management in your second sem, but even then we'll just brush on. So here what you have to do in present value method. So there are two methods, present value method and IRR. Okay, so I'll write here present value method and IRR method. In present value method, first we have to determine the cash flows after deducting tax advantage of owning an asset. Okay, such as investment allowance, if anything such you like this, you have to deduct that. Okay, then determine the cash inflow after tax. After tax, what is the cash inflow? You have to determine it. Then on that, determine the present value of cash outflows and after tax cash inflows by discounting at weighted average cost of capital of the lessor. Of the lessor's cost of capital you have to take and you have to discount. Decide in the favor of leasing out of the present on the basis of present value of cash inflows which exceeds the present value of cash outflows. That is whether NPV is positive or negative. Okay. If it's negative, then the lessor would lose on the leasing out of the asset. That is what I've explained here. So these are the two methods in which I've just now explained present value method. Now sometimes it might feel complex that while I'm telling this is how you have to, theoretically telling this is how you have to solve the problem, but once I do it in the class, when we start doing the problems, you'll be able to understand easily. Okay, next is IRR. In IRR method, here it is defined as the rate of discount at which the present value of cash inflow is equal to the present value of cash outflow. For this too, there are certain steps, like you need to determine the future net cash flows for a period of lease. Then the net cash inflows are estimated for the future net cash flows for a period of lease, and the estimated future earnings are estimated from the lease of the asset before depreciation but after taxation. After tax cash flows are taken and before depreciation only it is considered. After that, you determine the rate of discount at which the present value of cash inflow is equal to the present value of cash outflow. You put on the different rates and see that at what level the cash flows will be equal to the cash inflow will be equal to the cash outflow. Okay, so that is about IR. Like this, there are two methods which is related to lessor point of view. So probably you might have understood, I guess. Let's sum it up all together. In today's class, we discussed about the leasing concept. So lease is such a term which is very commonly known to you all, which you normally use it in your day in day out life. But here we are discussing about the leasing of equipments, machineries, assets, land, real estate in terms of as the service provided by the merchant banker. In the concept, we learned that it's an agreement between the lessor and the lessee who agree to the lessee agrees to take the asset from the lessor for a specific period of time, a specified asset for a specific payment of consideration. Lessor is the owner, lessee is the party which takes the asset on lease, and they have to pay lease rentals. Lease rentals include interest, charges and other expenses. So these are included in the lease rentals. So the lessor and lessee, there are two parties. He is the lessor, means owner, and lessee is the who takes the asset from lease, for lease. The lessee is the party which takes the asset from the lessor for lease, and the lessee need to pay the lease rentals to the owner. And in types we discussed, there is financial lease. In financial lease we have discussed that the lessor is not going to do any kind of services, is not going to provide any kind of services like repairs, maintenance and insurance and all, and only he'll act as a financier. Okay, and operating lease it is just opposite. Operating lease he provides all the services, and at the initial stages only the entire lease amount is taken from the lessee. Okay, then sale and lease back, you sell the asset first and then again lease back the same asset. Sale aid lease means helps in marketing. The lessor enters into a contract with the manufacturer promising him to market the product. Okay, so sale aid lease. Then you have specialized services, additional services to the along with the existing one. Then you have small and big, that is smaller value, small ticket, bigger value, big ticket. Okay, then you have cross borders. If the lease agreement is between two national borders, then we call cross borders. You have certain merits like flexible, very flexible. Then you have less documentation, that is you need not do more documentation. Then it is like an alternative source of investment. Full amount is being financed, and they have an option of sale and lease back. Then tax advantage is also there. And coming to the disadvantages, you have assets, it automatically reverts back to the lessor. Okay, interest rate is very high, and leasing out an asset is, those who cannot purchase, then they are going to lease the asset, or else it is better, always better to own it. Okay, then it is not suitable for new projects. Then evaluation, as I've already told, there are two ways of doing it: lessee point of view and lessor point of view. In lessee's point of view, you normally evaluate the cash flows on the basis of NPV, and then you just make a decision stating that whether the NPV which you have calculated, whether it is positive or negative. Based on that, you make the decisions. So when you do it on the basis of lessee, it is like whether to go for buying or whether to go for leasing. So based on the whether to buy, whether to lease, if you want to buy, then it has to be positive and greater than the lease NPV. If you want to lease, then it should be positive and greater than the buying NPV. If both are negative, then the entire project is rejected. Then when you come to the lessor's point of view, we have two methods, that is present value method and IRR method. In present value method is also same. First they deduct the tax expenses, deductions, and they calculate the inflow. Then the present value, applying the discount rate, is calculated. Then again NPV, whether it is positive or negative, that has been decided. Okay, and IRR, where we are going to match the cash inflows with the outflows. So once it is at the equal state, then we see that whether to buy or go for lease. Whether to lease or not. This is for the lessor. Lessor's option, it is only two, whether to lease or not. Lessee, it is like whether to buy or to lease. So this you should understand. Lessor is the owner, right? So there is no concept of leasing for him or buying for him. So either he have to lease or he should not lease. That is the owner's perspective. Whereas the lessee, that is who is taking the asset, his perspective is like whether he should buy an asset or whether he should lease an asset. Okay, so regarding this, we are going to solve the problems once we finish the class with hire purchase. In the next class, we'll be doing hire purchase concepts and advantages and disadvantages. After that, we'll be solving the problems on leasing. Thank you for attending the class. Hope you have understood today's class. So meet you with the problems in the next class.